Tin Hut! You did a great job singing that song. Go ahead and take a seat. One of my favorite pieces of the armor of God is the sword of the Spirit. The Bible is the sword of the Spirit. Would you like to hear a story from the Bible?
Yes!
Great! Let's all get ready for the story by clicking on our listening ears.
Click,
Click! Now, let's put on our special eyes.
Zoop,
Zoop! In the Bible, there's a true story about a boy named David. Can you say David?
David!
David's brothers were soldiers fighting in the Israelite army. David was not a soldier, but he was a shepherd. One day, he was taking food to his brothers when he heard a giant named Goliath shouting from the enemy army. Every day, Goliath would shout for someone to fight him, but the Israelite army would run away scared. David told the king, "Now fight Goliath, God will help me." The king put all of his armor on David, and David tried walking around in it, but he wasn't used to the armor. So David took it off because he knew that God would help him. Then David took his slingshot, went down to a stream, and picked up 5 smooth rocks. Boys and girls, can you pretend to pick up 5 rocks like David did? Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. Now the giant saw David and shouted mean things at him. But David said, "You are coming to fight against me with a sword, a spear, and a javelin. But I'm coming against you in the name of the Lord who rules over all. This day the Lord will give me the victory over you." Then David put a rock in his slingshot and began to swing it around and around. Let me see you all pretend to swing your slingshot in the air. That's it! David slung a rock through the air and it hit Goliath in the head. Goliath fell to the ground with a great big thud and died. David had victory over his enemy because instead of using the king's armor, he relied on God's power. We can all have the power to fight against anything that comes our way when we put on God's armor. The belt of truth, the armor of godliness, the good news boots, the shield of faith, the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit. Every time we put on God's armor, we have the power to be an everyday hero. So let me hear you say this after me. Put on God's armor. You've got it. When you put on God's armor and pray, you'll be strong enough to stand up to any evil that comes your way.